And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to our 17th race of the debut season of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series. Getting ready for today's running of the Duramax Dryden 400. And after today, we only have 9 more races left to go before we determine the 16 drivers that will battle out in this season's chase for the championship. And I have a huge host of co-commentators that's joining me. Cody, not so smart, Zachary Taylor, and Jarod Johnson. Say hi, guys.
Yeah, we actually have an idiot sandwich of a play-by-play commentator over here in the process.
I'm just going to get right onto the question. So, we're getting ready for Dover International Raceway for 40 laps of racing. And our Busch Series race we had here yesterday had 2 cautions that had playoff implications. So, Cody, because you were with me back at Talladega, that was the last time you co-commentated. For all these drivers, we're looking at the grid here. Brenda Eveling on the pole, Hannah Smith alongside. Eveling is 38th in the points. It's been a tough season for her. And alongside Hannah Smith, who won a couple of weeks ago, is down 24th in the points. She is a total of 29 points ahead of the 30th position in the points. How desperate is she going to be in this race, knowing she needs to stay in the top 30 to have that win count for a playoff berth?
I mean, that's really a good question to ask here, Danny. I mean, not many races left. Plenty enough to the point where if you have good performances for at least all but, I'm going to say 3 of those races, all but 3, she still has some wiggle room this season, but that can all change for a bad streak of races. So that's something she has to watch out for while running around this Monster Mile.
Zachary Taylor, you're a former winner this season, but you're outside the top 30 in the points table. How do you run your race as we're going to see the cars rolling off behind the pace car?
Definitely, we're going to be kind of behind 8 ball here, so definitely we're going to have to try to not DNF or anything like that. Get any crashes or anything.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Jarod Johnson, you've been doing well in the truck series despite not going to victory lane. What do you think you're going to learn in the final 3 races for trucks that's going to help you make the playoffs?
I just really don't know.
All right.
I just really don't.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I really don't know. I just hope I can make the playoff.
Yeah, and you only have 3 more races over in the truck series. Let's talk about the points coming into this race real quickly as we're going to come to green here at Dover. J TwoTwo has a 34-point lead over Cody Smart, who's second in points, and my co-commentator. B Bouvier is third, Ashley Horton fourth, Luke Knight is fifth. Green flag is in the air, racing at Dover. Sixth is Betty Johnson. Ben Tennyson dropped down to seventh. A Crenshaw, Monica Towns, and A Aurora, who had to be sent to the back of the grid after she was given a penalty for wrecking Betty Johnson last week at Rockingham. And we got a wreck already off of turn number 2. It's Ashley Horton. And who else was involved? As that is a caution. No, it's not a caution. How is that not a caution unless they end up saving it? That was a close call. Yeah, you see some skid marks. Oh, we got a crash. We got a crash on the back straightaway. It's Betty Barrett who's gotten turned around. A Aurora's got damage, and the caution is out for the first time here today on lap number 2.
That's going to be a possibility. Somebody's going to be throwing somebody else down the mountain for this one, especially getting sent to the back. And now this, I wonder what happened.
Well, I was getting ready to mention A Aurora was sent to the back for turning Betty Johnson around under caution after the race at Rockingham, is why she had to start at the back. So the caution's out for the first time today First, let's look back at the 10 card to see what exactly happened. Then we'll take a look at our caution in the early stages here at Dover. Looking at our aerial view, this is what, first of all, didn't bring out the caution. Hannah Smith gets up into the wall, comes down, gets Ponzo Albanese, and down into Ashley Horton. And it looks like Ashley Horton nicks the inside wall with the left front and left rear of her Valvoline Dodge, but did a great job saving it. And since they kept it straight, PCSRA officials did not elect to throw a caution, but they did throw a caution on this next incident, which we're going to see right now. And here's the yellow here. It looks like the 45 of Luigi Cadet's going to come down into Betty Barrett. Nowhere for Betty Johnson to go. Who is that just bounced up the 45? As looks like Elena Aurora got into Luigi Cadet. The car that was on the bottom is Maddie Crenshaw. But we surprisingly got away with only 2 cars involved, and that's 2 weeks in a row for Betty Johnson. Last week got turned by Elena Aurora under caution for really no reason, which is why Elena Aurora had to start at the back and was placed on probation for 6 races because of that, and Betty Barrett was just an innocent victim. Johnson dropped 2 spots to 6th in the standings. Betty Barrett 22nd in points after losing 8 spots last week at Rockingham. So hopefully the damage is not significant on the Cat Dodge and the BAM Racing Dodge. So the yellow's out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at Dover. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 7 of 40. Should give us a total of 35 laps of racing to go. Brenda Eveling is the leader. Kevin Joseph second. Timmy Turner third. Luke Knight fourth. Cody Smart is fifth. Then it's Monica Towns, Hannah Smith, Courtney Lynn, Vanko Seaman, and Todd Montgomery rounding out the top 10. Nobody out of the race from the incident, so all 40 cars that took the green are going to take this first restart. Brenda Eveling actually here's something funny. Brenda Eveling is driving the same chassis she won in the Diva Cup Series race right here at Dover, except she was running the 200 year paint scheme for DuPont, the sponsor on that number 24 machine. So could lightning strike twice for that driver out of Hendrick Motorsports. As we're going to go back to green flag here at Dover. And Brenda Eveling got a terrible restart as Kevin Joseph dive bombs and gets around the 24. So looks like either an engine just laid down or the 24 just didn't get up to speed. And Brenda Eveling's going to sink through the field just like that. She went from leading to now outside the top 15 just like that. As Kevin Joseph now leads over Timmy Turner. Kevin Joseph comes into this race situated 29th in the points. Timmy Turner comes into this race 16th in points. He is actually tied with Ashley Reynolds. The problem is Ashley Reynolds has been to victory lane, whereas Timmy Turner has not. And now the Timmy Turner trying to look to the inside of the Grainger Ford. And look who's not far away, Cody Smart, the guy in the booth, as he put Green Jr. in this car, since Cody's up here in the booth with me.
Yeah, given the fact that Green Jr. is approaching the age to be old enough to be running at these types of tracks anyway, it makes sense.
Talking about Courtney Lynn in the number 5 machine, who comes in this race at critical 30th position in the points, running in the 6th position. If she can get a good run, this could get her away from 30th in the standings. Let's see where Zachary Taylor is running. He's running in 19th. And he was a total of 21 points back of 30th in the standings. Marty Stevens is not having a good run, and he came this race only 6 points ahead of 30th in the standings. Ashley Reynolds not having a good run, and Brenda Eveling, just like that, went from first to last that quickly. Annie Thomas not running well, running in 39th. So Annie Thomas is not doing her hopes of trying to get back in the top 30 in points any favors, even though next week we're going to a super speedway of Daytona, which we will have just Busch and Winston Cup series. And we'll be halfway through the season for the Winston Cuppers. We've already passed the halfway point of the Busch Series season as far as the season together. We did that last week at Rockingham, already past the halfway mark in that series. So we have 8 more races, or check that, 9 more races left to go. Daytona is next week for Busch and Winston Cup. And then the following week, it will be. Trying to remember where we're going after Daytona. I believe we're going to Hillside. And my stat guy just told me, yes, we are going to Hillside. And of course, Hillside is identical to Dover. The catch is Hillside is even banked higher than Dover is. So that should be an interesting race. And then we will head to Papyrus. That's when the Truck Series will make their return on that high-speed road course in Massachusetts. So that is what we have coming up in the next 3 races, believe it or not. Kevin Joseph still the race leader over Timmy Turner in second. A couple of drivers who have been struggling in the points table this season would like to get a win to get themselves not only into a battle to compete for the championship, but to also stay in the top 30 in the points table. And I also forgot to check the 77. He's running in 19th. That's Todd Montgomery. He came into this race 29 points ahead of 30th in the standings, so not sure where this is going to situate him after today's race, if he finishes right where he is. Of course, Cody Smart's second in points. The guy he's trying to run down for the points lead is actually in front of him, J TwoTwo, in the 29. He comes in this race as your points leader. And then the gal who is trying to run those two down, Josephine Bouvier, running in the... Where is Bouvier running? She is running in the 13th position. And I'm not sure if there's a cylinder issue, and looks like it might be a cylinder issue or something on that 24 machine. Just past the halfway point here at Dover. Banco Seaman running in third. Monica Towns fourth. There's Jacob TwoTwo, who's now moved up to fifth. Cody Smart sixth. About to put Annie Winters down a spot. Well, it'll be Jessica Miller. It'll be seventh. Winters back to eighth. Riley Anderson ninth. And Courtney Lynn is now your top 10. Riley Anderson was denied a win last week at Rockingham, North Carolina. Ended up finishing second. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was, I believe, it was not Hannah Smith. She won the back at Kentucky. It was Ben Erickson who was your most recent winner. He jumped up 5 spots to 23rd in the points table. The problem for Ben Erickson is he has a total of 32 points ahead of 30th in the standings as they're about to lap the 24, and it looks like the engine's not sounding well, as it's sounding really sick, Cody.
Yeah, that's really not a good sign. They're more likely going to have to take it to pit road to see what's wrong with that thing. I don't know. Doesn't look good from here.
And she's about to get lapped by these two.
Yeah, with no cautions, this would more likely ruin her chances to win this.
Yeah, we've only had one yellow so far in this race. Right now they have a 2.36 second lead on third place Vanco Seaman, who's been struggling in the points. But this is a well-needed run for Vanco Seaman, who's near the bottom of the points table, comes into this race 36th in points.
Kind of hard to make the transition. I mean, where he came from is basically a continent full of world circuits, and everyone's a blue and blue in the street circuit. There's only one or two ovals in the schedule, but GTSRA is trying to increase the effort and trying to diversify the schedule by doing just that, adding ovals. So this really is a disadvantage for him throughout the entirety of the season, not just a part of it.
I haven't checked what his average finish would be, but it's probably not good if you ask me.
Wouldn't be surprised, really.
You look at Kevin Joseph and Timmy Turner, you think about the resumes that they've had. Kevin Joseph, a team owner, who we're going to have for the birthday race coming up after this race weekend, before the Busch and Winston Cup race at Daytona. Kevin Joseph will be driving the 75 Dunkin' Donuts Chevrolet for KJM. Timmy Turner driving for his own team in the number 65 Turner Buick Racing entry, which you'll see that race on my birthday from Daytona, believe it or not, but they're going to be in the daytime conditions. You also will see Jacob TwoTwo and all the other drivers who were like 2010 on back, that they're going to run the birthday race at Daytona. Or is it Texas? I think it's either... No, it's Texas. I'm sorry. They're racing at Texas for the birthday bash this year. But either way, we will get to see those drivers next week. As Timmy Turner, by the way, did take the lead from Kevin Joseph. Yesterday's Busch Series temperature was 90 degrees where it was hot and slick. Today, 32-degree difference. It's 58 outside. And it's also cloudy, so the track has a lot more grip than the Busch race yesterday. As we're down to 5 laps of racing to go. Both of these drivers inside the top 30 in points, meaning if they go to victory lane, they would be in the playoffs, providing they remain in the top 30 in points. And the last driver who needs to see that would be Betty Johnson. Why? She came in this race 3 points above the playoff cut line. And barring if we have more winners, you're going to be facing more than likely a must-win situation.
I mean, I said it at Talladega. Really said it at Talladega. If you see many more drivers winning this regular season and staying up there top 30 in points, you're looking at drivers that are in the top 10, maybe top 5 in the points, not getting into the playoffs unless they get a win.
But the other thing they also got to hope for is drivers that have a win that are inside the top 30 fall outside the top 30 in points, as we're down to 2 to go. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, and West America focuses on a leader. We'll talk about the playoff situation when we get to that point. Let's just say
as we're going to come to the white flag, one more lap to go here at Dover. This, I believe, would be the second win of the season for Roush Racing. The only winner from that team has been Marty Stevens. And today they're going to have their second winner of that group. Kevin Joseph is going to win the Duramax Dryden 400 here today at Dover. And does he unofficially lock himself a spot into the playoffs? Standings are not yet official, and now they are, as we have finished up our 17th race for the Winston Cup Series. If you look at the results, Kevin Joseph the winner, Timmy Turner second, well-needed run for Vanco Seaman, running pretty poorly in the points. He's going to finally climb his way through the points table. J TwoTwo will get fourth. He will keep the points lead heading into next week. Monica Towns will finish in fifth. Towns will stay in the top 10 in the points, but she's going to be looking like a must-win situation for her. Jessica Miller, ditto for her, finishing in sixth. Came as race 11th in points. She'll be inside the top 10 leaving today. Riley Anderson, who had two chances to win this season, but all have gone away for various reasons, will end up seventh. Josephine Bouvier, third in the points table, will finish in eighth. And Cody Smart comes away with ninth, and Michael Anderson will complete the top 10. Michael came into this race 34th in the points, so a well-needed run for the Home Depot team. Courtney Lane came home 11th. She came as race at critical 30th position in the points. I think that's going to be enough for her to get away from 30th in the standings, so and she's going to try to do herself to build a big enough cushion to keep herself inside the top 30 in the standings. Ponzo Albanese came home in 16th. He came into this race a total of 38 points ahead of 30th in the standings. We're going to see where 16th is going to situate. Marty Stevens, 17th. He was only 6 points ahead of 30th in the standings. Where is this going to situate him? Ashley Horton, I believe, Ashley Horton had a nice enough cushion between her and 30th in the standings. Same with Ashley Reynolds, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. Zachary Taylor, 21st. I don't know, Cody. I think that's going to be borderline with a 21st place finish for Zachary Taylor. Todd Montgomery, 22nd. Where is this going to situate him heading into next week's race? I don't know. As you look on down through the remainder of finishing results, a lot of drivers who came in running well in points, like Betty Johnson, fourth in the points, 2 weeks in a row. She's had trouble, and she's going to continue to drop through the standings. Ben Erickson, 1 week removed from his first win of the year, 31st. Ouch. But all 40 cars did finish the race. Brenda Ealing was the only one that finished a lap down. 39 of them were on the lead lap. Hannah Smith was the last car that finished on the lead lap, and Hannah Smith came into this race 29 points ahead of 30th in the standings. Where's this going to situate her heading into next week? I don't know. But guys, I want to thank you for joining me in the booth for today's race.
Good luck recovering from that, Taylor.
Well, next week we're going to head to the high banks of Daytona National Speedway with Busch and Winston Cup racing coming your way from Daytona. Should be a lot of fun. We'll be halfway through the season. If you guys enjoyed today's race from Dover, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading to the high banks of Daytona next week. It's just Busch and Winston Cup Series. And then, what did I say the following week's race is? Hillside. And then we'll be at Papyrus for all 3 series as far as that's concerned. Until then, for Zachary Taylor, Jarod Johnson, and Cody Smart, I've been D Devola signing off as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years as the best in racing around the world since 2017. So long from the Monster Mile.